So I think the last time we talked, you told me you've been in education since '95.
That's correct.
Tell me where you started your career, where you've been since then, and how we got here today.
Okay, so I was at the University of Oklahoma. I left. I had a friend that was at UAB, and so I came to visit him one summer and fell in love with Birmingham. And so I wanted to go to a HBCU. Always wanted to go to a HBCU. So I withdrew from the University of Oklahoma and enrolled in Miles College, and started taking classes, and was very fortunate to be named as a long-term substitute for the year at Fairfield High School. So before I even graduated in 1996, I had the privilege of teaching as a substitute teacher from the year 95, 96. So I got a year run at it to get, I guess, acclimated to what it looked like and to see if this is something that I actually really wanted to do, and fell in love with education, fell in love with helping others, helping young people. And so to that end, I got my first start at Fairfield High School, 1995.
And when did you first become a principal, an administrator?
So I was in the classroom at Leeds High School, and the deputy superintendent came to the classroom and asked me to step outside. I said, yes, sir. I stepped outside. He said, we have found somebody to take your classes over for the remainder of the school year. And we were right around spring break. The former assistant principal had left and moved to Georgia to take another position. And so he said that he was going to have somebody to take my classes, saying that I needed to go back to school and start working on my administrative degree, which I did. I thought I was in trouble initially when he came, but the reality was he saw something in me in respect to a skill set. And he thought that skill set would lend itself perfectly for the vacated position as an assistant principal. And so I did just that, and stayed at Leeds High School as an assistant principal for 3 years, a little over 3 years actually in that role.
And then you moved to Pinson Valley High.
No, not quite yet.
Okay.
So we had a superintendent change, and the new superintendent came in, and he met with me and said that they have a position at the middle school, Leeds Middle School, that was just opening up, as a matter of fact. And wanted to know would I be interested in transitioning from being an assistant principal at the high school. And I was still coaching basketball at this time. We had just won a state championship, so I was pretty excited about doing both, being an assistant principal and also getting the chance to coach basketball. But I realized that at some point in time I was going to have to, couldn't serve two masters, I was going to have to let one of them go, and I felt like this was a great opportunity to move into a principal role, so I did accept the position at Leeds Middle School, where I stayed for 2 years.
And you spent the last 10 at Pinson Valley?
That is correct.
I want to talk about, what about this next step as next superintendent? Is this your first superintendent role, and how do you plan to approach this?
Yes, certainly, good question. So this is my first superintendent role. Today is the first day on the job. How do I approach it? I think I approach it like any other position that I've ever accepted, is do my research, learn as much as I possibly can, talk to as many people that have sat in this seat. Certainly having the state being here and having Dr. Boyd being here is going to be a great benefit, a great asset for me. Certainly, again, listening to people, listening to your teachers, listening to your administration, listening to your support staff here, the people who have been here, the people who have been invested in the city of Bessemer. I feel like all of those are critically important for me and my success.
And I was reading a little bit about you on the Pinson Valley website. This quote from your bio, that you have a reputation of being a turnaround leader within the schools that you served in as principal. Tell me about that, and do you think you can be a turnaround leader here in Bessemer?
So yes, the schools that I worked in previously as an administrator, I'm big in climate and culture, right? And so the culture is really important. And you say, well, what's the difference between climate and culture? Well, the climate changes just like in the state of Alabama. It's going to be 30 degrees next week, and it's going to be 90, right? Culture is something that's sustainability. And that's the thing that I've always wanted to create in the position as principal, is a culture that supports and that sustains itself, and that there are norms and non-negotiables embedded in that culture where people understand their roles, whether it be students, whether it be the adults in the building, whether it be the stakeholders and parents who we certainly that we work for, and that we work to make sure that when they send their child to school, that we're providing the best safe environment, enriching environment that we possibly can. And those are the things that I pride myself on. And so to answer your question, do we feel like, I feel like we can get that done here? Absolutely, we can.
What do you take from maybe turning around a school into turning around a school system?
So I've never done that before. So again, just to reiterate, it's going to be an opportunity for me to, again, keep my eyes open. Again, making sure that I'm talking to the right people and making decisions that not just my decision, but getting with committees, getting with people who have done the work, and sitting down and coming to a consensus that this is exactly what needs to happen in Bessemer City Schools. Yeah.
How did this opportunity land about? Did Dr. Mackey approach you?
No, actually my superintendent, Dr. Gonslin, approached me after a principals meeting, and he knew that I had been a finalist for a couple of other superintendent positions. And he said that, that there may be a position opening up. And if I were, to be interested in it, it was going to be Bessemer City Schools. I said, I would be very interested. And then from there, he reached out to Dr. Mackey, and I think that's really how the whole process started, to be honest with you.
So I trust you got a good recommendation.
I trust that. I trust I did as well.
So, what improvements do you think need to happen here at Bessemer City Schools to maybe get this school district out of the state intervention?
So again, very good question, and one that I can't answer because I haven't been here long enough to really do my due diligence in uncovering and seeing exactly what opportunities lie there. A lot of individuals will say, what challenges do schools or school districts face, and I always say, those challenges lead to opportunities, and so we look at opportunities. What can we do to get the most of the low-hanging fruit initially? To see where our grabs, where we can get successes, celebrate those successes, then really prioritize where we're going. Obviously, we look at the academic piece. The teaching and learning piece is critically important. Certainly, that there's been great strides since state intervention. Moving from a 62 to a 69 is a pretty big jump, the truth be told, and I certainly see. As we continue on, moving to ascension to a 70 and then an 80 and who knows, a 90, right? And it's obtainable. It certainly is. There's a motto, a hashtag, believe in Bessemer. And I think that's the efficacy piece that we need to continue to push, is believe in Bessemer and believe in the people who we have in place.
How do you plan to keep that momentum going? Like you said, there's been great improvements. How do you keep that going for the school system?
I think you see exactly what was created, and then you continue to replicate that, and you continue to build and grow on that, and have the right people involved in that process.
What are some of your goals for the school district while you're here?
Well, certainly, again, to continue to improve on the academic piece. That's critical. There have already been building capital improvements to the schools, so that would be the thing. To do an assessment and look and see, through the aesthetics, what we can do to improve the actual building facilities. Certainly, the retention of great teachers. You want to make sure that you retain the ones who are doing great work in those classrooms with our students. Certainly, you want to continue to improve on the skill set of everybody, to include myself, to be better and to provide that professional development for everyone in the building, whether you're a central office or whether you're in one of those school buildings or whether you're in transportation or CMP for that matter.
And how do you plan to approach your relationship with the state while you guys are under state intervention? Kind of talk about how you'll be working with Dr. Boyd, you, and Dr. Mackey.
Yeah, so I look at it this way. It's a partnership. where we partner together, and there are certain core values that the state, Alabama State Department of Education, certainly has and expects. And there are core values here in Bessemer City Schools, and my goal is to align those values to where in which we're working in tandem, and it's a seamless process. So I look at it as a great opportunity.
Why are you the right superintendent for this time in Bessemer City Schools?
Because I did a lot of praying and the good Lord ordered my steps here. I do feel like that I have the energy, I have the skill set, I have the passion to lead, and certainly looking forward to the opportunity to come into a school district that is looking for leadership. And certainly I feel like I could be the leader that they are looking for.
Now, I know it might be early to tell, but Dr. Mackey said once the state intervention is over, the board will be able to select their own superintendent. He said he had wanted the interim to be here for the entirety of the state intervention. Is that the plan? And do you think you'll be here for the long haul after the intervention is over?
Well, I can tell you this. If you look at my track record, I don't bounce around. I'm here to do a job. And that's to serve and meet the needs of our kids and also our faculty and staff. And I think that based on my body of work, I think that the board definitely will see that, and the prayer is that they would want to retain me.
Anything else I didn't ask that you really wanted to mention? Is there something that we didn't get to touch on that you think would be important for people to know about you, about your goals here while you're here at Bessemer City Schools?
I'll just leave you with this: believe in Bessemer.